It's Hampshire Senior Cup night. It's semi-finals here at the Silverlake Stadium, where AFC Bournemouth beat Portsmouth in the last round by 5-2, and now they're here to take on Eastleigh, who reached a final last season. It's on the Cherry Stream, and we're live with kick-off in just about 5 minutes' time, sponsored by ESET for this Hampshire Senior Cup tie as well. Very good evening. As you can see beside me, one of each. We've got Neil Perrott, as ever, from the Bournemouth media team, and Lewis Brown for the first time, young midfielder for the Cherries. First of all, Lewis, fantastic to have you here. First time up in the press box. How are you feeling being up here, first of all, as opposed to being down on the pitch?
I'm a bit nervous, actually, to be fair. But Neil got me in when I first come to the game, and he said, "Can you help us out?" I said, "Of course."
Well, yeah, he bribed you, I think, didn't he, for you to join up here. Neil, I mean, what a big game it is tonight as well for Bournemouth, for these youngsters, because they did so well to get through. And we'll talk about it in a minute. Another appearance for David Brooks, so a big night for him as well. Hopefully he can build on that hat-trick he scored a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, even though David Brooks was in the team against Portsmouth, you've got to remember they had a really, really strong side out. Lewis will obviously remember because he played. I know Lewis is so desperate to be out there tonight. Hopefully he can feature in the final if we get there. But yeah, I mean, it's a great stage here. It's a lovely pitch, a lovely facility. And like I say, we're looking forward. Hopefully the men can follow the women into the Hampshire Senior Cup final. Absolutely,
yeah. Well, that's the thing with the women doing so well as well. And we brought you a stream of the women on Sunday, their match at home against Maidenhead United. And we'll go through the sides now here at the Silverlake Stadium. Now we have got the sides, and as you can see, for the Cherries, it is a start for David Brooks. So at the back there, a solid-looking line-up there with Kinsey Wellings and Greenwood at the back for the Cherries. So Brooks starts, and then it's a very strong-looking front line as well with Aduajai, Da Costa Gonzalez and Johnson. It feels like it's got a bit of everything, that team, Lewis, today.
Yeah, the team does have a bit of everything, to be fair. We've got our attacking power with our front three, and then we've got our runner, Ben Winterburn, in midfield, who will be our engine, and our ball player, Torrey Williams, who hopefully can get on the ball for 90 minutes and create our chances.
Absolutely so. Well, the players are out on the pitch now then, and Eastleigh have got a really young-looking side. It was a very young team against Bashley a few weeks ago when they got through to the semi-finals. That team is even younger this time around, so there's no senior players in their team, but they've got a number of 16 and 17-year-olds, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on this afternoon, or this evening, here at the Silverlake Stadium. And there's a place in the starting lineup for Harley Stock, the son of Brian Stock, the Eastleigh assistant manager, down in the dugout this evening. So that's an interesting story there. And we'll be very interested to see how he gets on today, Neil, Harley Stock tonight, because Brian Stock obviously rates him, and big things hopefully expected of him as well. I've heard lots of good things about it.
Yeah, I was having a chat with Brian Stock before the game, and I said, "Is he anything like you?" And he said, "There's a few similarities." So if he's got a few similarities like Brian Stock, he's a very lucky lad, because he was a very talented player in the Bournemouth midfield. I know that Lewis knows a couple of players in the Eastleigh lineup as well, Lou.
Yeah, I know Dylan Walker, number 11, Kaya Shaka, number 8, and obviously Owen Palmer, who used to be at Bournemouth as well.
Well, it'll be interesting as well, because they obviously know a long number of their opponents pretty well. So you've got 3 or 4 there for Eastleigh. So you know Luca Chalwell pretty well, Dylan Walker, you say. Anything that stands out amongst those Eastleigh players that you do know?
Dylan Walker, for example, good goal scorer in front of goal, and obviously he's got good work rate up and down the wing if he plays on the wing tonight.
So we're just minutes away from kick-off here. Before we get this match underway, Neil, we were talking about that stream on Sunday. It was great to bring the stream of the women's on Sunday. It was a 0-0 draw at home to Maidenhead United, but a record crowd at Vitality Stadium. So that is real progress.
Yeah, it was 3,067 from memory, and that was almost double the women's game of last season, which took place. We know that women's football has gone through the roof, particularly since what happened last summer with the women's Euros. You know, and hopefully, well, I know that our women's team will grow from strength to strength after that game. They've got, like I said, they've got the Hampshire Senior Cup final coming up next month as well. They ended Portsmouth's 13-year dominance of the Hampshire Senior Cup. That is some record, by the way.
That's unbelievable. I can't remember a side winning it, or any competition, 13 times in a row. But there we go. Credit to them, and credit to the Cherries for ending that record. And the referee is about to blow his whistle to get this match underway. Then here at the Silverlake Stadium, in association with ESET, and it is Bournemouth who get us underway now, with Winterburn, who plays it back again towards Kinsey Wellings for the Cherries, who've won 3 games to get this far, and won a few months ago now against Fulham Sports that springs to mind, Lewis, as that hat-trick for Ben Greenwood. What a tremendous, and I think it was in something like 17 minutes, even less than that I think it was.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. He's obviously a left-back, but he's playing centre-half tonight. And to be fair, he's under 21's top goal scorer, which we have a bit of banter about in training, because a left-back shouldn't be your top goal scorer, but that's what it is.
Yeah, here we go. There's a chance of the Cherries of the shot, but Eastleigh get it away. I know, quite an achievement for the position that he was in to do what he did in such a short space of time. In the meantime, here is...
He did score 2 penalties, though, so we got to allow him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know.
Just an interesting tactical one quickly, Lou. It looks like David Brooks is playing slightly more central than he did against Portsmouth, though he was on the wing.
Yeah, he is. I think it's because we got Michael obviously playing on the right wing, who likes to come inside on that left foot. So if we can get Brooks in the ball inside and Michael coming inside, then who knows what can happen. Hopefully they can score a couple of goals tonight.
So Shakarov Genesini, and then the foul is given. And Eastleigh win the free kick here in the Hampshire Senior Cup, which has been running now for, well, since the 1800s, would you believe? It's been running every single year, pretty much, apart from the COVID year and those World War I period. But Southampton have won it the most. In the meantime, here come Eastleigh, and it's cleared. Nearly 20 times Southampton have won this competition. The last time was in the 1970s, though, and now Bournemouth have it with Winterburn, having used to have been in this competition all the time, as Southampton used to be.
Well, talking about the COVID year, Ian, that was the year that Bournemouth actually won the Hampshire Senior Cup, and they managed to play rounds in 3 different years, believe it or not, including 2019, 2020, 2021. And the final was against Eastleigh at AFC Tottenham, where Mark Travers scored a headed equaliser in the last minute to take the tie to penalties.
What a story that was, wasn't it? And a repeat of that fixture here this evening at AFC Tottenham as Bournemouth win the free kick. But Mark Travers has scored that goal, Lewis. That's Roy of the Rovers stuff.
Yes, it was. But I was a 14, 15-year-old boy watching that game at home, to be fair. And when it went in, we spoke to all the lads that I play football with now, that when my age group were there, and we all just laughing and joking about it because we've never seen a goalkeeper score.
But we've seen a goalkeeper score recently in Billy Terrell. He scored the other day against Aston Villa.
Yeah, to be fair, he did. It was in a friendly as well, to be fair.
Are we going to see some drama tonight, I wonder, just to complete the set? In the meantime, is Michael da Costa Gonzalez to take the throw for the Cherries. And that comes back towards Genesini. He switches out towards Noah Boutin. The Frenchman goes left. And now Balin Johnson. Well, looking to cause some problems here, Balin Johnson. But that's going to roll out for a goal kick for Eastleigh here in the Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final. The winners will play either Basingstoke or Farnborough in the final.
And they're playing tonight. I believe they're going to be kicking off 15 minutes later than us. Just want to ask Lou, why aren't you playing tonight? Just tell us.
Unfortunately, no, I've done the ligaments in my ankle. That's going to keep me out for 4 to 6 weeks. But if we win tonight, hopefully I can persuade Bestie and get back to the final.
And at Fratton Park in May, so it'd be a big incentive. It looks like it's going to be at Fratton Park anyway next month. And what a fantastic experience for everybody to have played at Vitality Stadium a few times this season, to experience those grounds and the Silverlake as well as a nice stadium to play at. That's always going to help the players. Yeah,
we always want to play at stadiums. We don't just want to play at training grounds because it's a big occasion for the young lads, especially the second-year scholars, which I am. And we always look forward to the FA Youth Cup nights, which we had, and obviously Hampshire Cup nights.
Here's David Brooks for the Cherries. Decent ball. Puts Genesini away. And then that, in the end, comes off Dylan Walker's foot. It's the first corner of the game, and it's come in the way of Bournemouth.
Talking of Hampshire Senior Cup, Lou, I know everybody knows how we got on against Portsmouth, but not so many people remember the Tadley-Cleaver game in the previous round, 0-0 and 11-10 on penalties.
Yeah, that was a long, frustrating night for us. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, but luckily we got the job done on penalties.
Pretty consistent with the penalties as well, wasn't it, that evening?
Yeah, to be fair, we were. We practiced them the day before in training, and most of us scored that day as well, so it was good to take our form into the game.
And as a result now, having won those 3 games, the Cherries are 1 win away from the final as it goes back towards Terrell in the Cherries' goal. And now Bournemouth are in possession. So, a bit of a bad start for the Cherries at the moment. Keeping control, keeping possession. They've had a lot more of the ball so far, it's fair to say, Lewis.
Yes, it is. We're just trying to get Torrey Williams on our ball, our pivot, who's exceptional when he gets it at his feet, and hopefully he can play them forward passes.
Bournemouth go out towards the left-hand side. He's seeing possession. And it is a Hampshire Senior Cup, but it's not just Hampshire teams that have been involved over the years. You've got teams from Wiltshire, Dorset, Bournemouth, of course, Isle of Wight, Hampshire. So a fair few teams from just on the outskirts have been involved. And it goes all the way down to tier 10, doesn't it, as well, of English football, as it goes out for a throw on this left-hand side. It's always been a good competition.
People often ask why Bournemouth, Dorset are in the Hampshire Senior Cup, but of course it goes back many, many years ago when Bournemouth was actually in Hampshire, and I have to say that it was in Hampshire when I was born there.
Now you are showing your age, Neil. As Bournemouth have possession now with Greenwood, as Greenwood plays it in field. The Cherries having won this competition now on 4 occasions. It's Kinsey Wellings, always solid at the back. Plays it forward now, is Da Costa Gonzalez. Good run from him. An excellent run from Da Costa Gonzalez. He might shoot here. Plays it back instead. Here's Brooks. Looking for that opening here. Keeping possession well. Goes out towards the right-hand side. Genesini. Back again towards Toure Williams. Duajai for the Cherries. Da Costa Gonzalez goes wide. Genesini back to Brooks. Brooks looking to get a goal here. Might provide an assist. And he rolls out for a goal kick. But Toure Williams, somebody you know well, good friend of yours, I understand, Lewis.
Yes, I've been at the club with Toure since the age of 7, to be fair. And we've come from when Bournemouth were in League 2 and now they're in the Premiership, which is a good achievement for the club. And hopefully me and Toure can go all the way together.
Good player as well, isn't he, Neil? Toure Williams is certainly on the ball. He looks so composed.
I've said before, he's a joy to watch. 2-footed as well, can spray it around with both feet. Just tell us how you go back with him, Lou, Toure.
I just remember the day we signed. The Bournemouth were playing Notts County at home, League 1, League 2 nil, I think it was. And obviously me and him have just kicked onto that today. And I remember the goal he scored against Swindon for us, the last game this season. And everyone knew Toure could do that, but he just didn't bring that out in games. And when he did, everyone was blown away by him.
Here's Bailey Johnson then for Bournemouth. Versatile forward, spent a decade at Arsenal. Tries to get the ball back. So generally been in Eastleigh's half so far. This time the ball forward from Tommy Whitby. It's going to go back to Terrell in the Cherries goal. And it was a final that Eastleigh were involved in. The last time they won was 2012 against AFC Tottenham at St Mary's Stadium, where the Hawkeye sensory system was used for the first time. A little bit of an experiment there at St Mary's Stadium. That was quite an achievement. There's one for you, Neil.
And it's still not working.
No, it's still 11 years later. Here we are. Not much has changed. In the meantime, there's Brooks down that left. What a story that was, David Brooks' previous round, to get that hat-trick. It felt like it had to be, really, Lewis.
It was probably a dream come true for him, to be fair, but when we found out the day before he was playing, the lads were buzzing for him, and obviously it gave us a big boost because obviously he's a first-team player and we know what he can do, and obviously he showed that in 45 minutes against the Portsmouth, who had a good, very strong team out, especially they had 8 or 9 first-team players, I think it was, and obviously he helped us win the game.
Yeah, John Messina, the Portsmouth head coach, was taking charge of them for that game. Here's Brooks for Bournemouth. Going to get the cross in. Duajai waits for it in the penalty area. Back to Da Costa Gonzalez, who's been involved with the senior team this season. Up towards a Duajai. And it's going to come back, and it just sails past the post via deflection from Brooks. There's going to be a corner kick. But again, they're continuing to pile on the pressure here, the Cherries. Watch that again. Good play from him to put himself in a position to get the shot away in the first place, and he wins the corner.
Yeah, I think that one would have tested the goalkeeper had it not taken the deflection. It was certainly looking like it could have gone near the bottom corner, so fortunate that it deflected for Eastleigh there.
So just about got a touch strip, I think, there, did Lewis Meeson. Goal for Eastleigh. Away it comes. So a couple of opportunities so far for Bournemouth. And now it comes back again towards Noah Boutin. First French player to join the academy, Neil, when he signed in the summer of 2020. and another player who is always solid as fullback.
He can also play as winger as well, to be fair, because he's very quick. He's one of the quickest in the academy.
Yeah, he can burst down that flank, can't he? That's for sure.
Yes, he can.
Throw for Eastleigh on that left-hand side.
Lou's had a loan spell at Wimborne this season, Lou. Just tell us a little bit about what those. I know it was quite short.
It was good. Unfortunately, I got knocked back with 2 injuries. I've done my calf, and now I've just done my ligaments in my ankle. But the games I played, it was a good experience. Obviously, to play men's football for the first time, and obviously to see the different side of the game.
And managed by Tim Seals, whose son Ethan won the goal of the month last month for AFC Bournemouth. A great free kick.
Exceptional free kick that was against Stevenage. But no, Tim Seals is a good manager, and hopefully Wimborne can win the playoffs.
Chance here for Eastleigh though, and the first attempt on target there. Harley Stock cleared. Was an opportunity there for the Spitfires early on. And the first time really they've got it inside Bournemouth's final third. Watch it again in a second. As the Spitfires come forward on this right-hand side, here's Whitby. Whitby out to Brzezinski. And then it's volleyed behind that time from Ben Greenwood and out of play for a corner kick.
Yeah, it was the first time, Ian, but you have to say that that's probably the clearest chance of the game so far, and a good strike and a good save as well.
It was, it's forced a save, and now it's a corner. And it's going to be Shaka to take this corner for Eastleigh here. So yeah, first time they've really got in there behind that defence, and they're going to win their first corner of the game. And Bournemouth have some defending to do here, having started off the better side, the Cherries. I've had that chance for Brooks, but away it comes. And then Aduajai is just going to chip it down the right-hand side. But Brooks has come very close. That was probably the closest that Bournemouth have come so far. Just went an inch wide of the post. And now Eastleigh themselves are showing where they can be a threat going forward. And it is, as I say, an extremely young side for them. Jake Scrimshaw played for Eastleigh in their previous round against Bashley. Another striker that will be very familiar with the Cherry supporters, Neil.
Yeah, I think that Bournemouth were expecting him to feature tonight, but it looks like Eastleigh have got a few injury problems. They've got 2 very important games coming up.
Given away though, and then in the end they runs into trouble there, Chilwell.
So I think Jake Scrimshaw may be involved in their squads for their last 2 games. I think they're a bit short on numbers.
Yeah, they've picked up a few injuries on Saturday against Chesterfield, Eastleigh. And now it's a lovely run. We were talking about the fact that Bhutan loves to run down into the penalty area. He does that here, and it's a chance here which goes over the bar from Da Costa Gonzalez. Well, the Cherries have had their opportunities, and credit has to go there to Noah Bhutan, who made a surging run into the penalty area. Found Da Costa Gonzalez, but in the end couldn't find the target. Good opportunity, and it all came from that left-hand side.
Lou, I've got to ask you, what was your money on there, the finish?
I'd put my house on Michael to score then, to be fair. Every day in training he practices them finishes, and 9 times out of 10 he scores, but unfortunately he couldn't then.
You can tell he's kicking himself there, can't you? Every time he'd put that in the back of the net, as you say. Da Costa Gonzalez. I suppose he's that kind of character though, isn't he? He'll be even more determined now to make up for that.
Knowing Michael, in the next 5 minutes or so he will do something special that no one expected him to do.
He did some amazing things, didn't he, Neil? On that stream we were with early on in the season, where just somebody put a montage together of, I think, is it 10 minutes of his best bits? When you put it all together, just goes to show what a special talent he is.
Definitely, yeah. Watched him a few times in the under-18s, and he's one of those edge-of-your-seat type players, there's no question about it. Flits in and out of the game from time to time, but when he's in the game, he's very much in the game.
I think the game you're referring to now is Liverpool in the FA Youth Cup, when we unfortunately lost 2-1.
Yeah, he was outstanding that day. In fact, the whole team were outstanding that day, considering that you were playing such a high, Category 1 academy team as well, and certainly gave as good as you got.
Yeah, I think we gave a good example of ourselves, especially being a Cat-3 team, and no one expected us to lose 2-1 to Liverpool. But if you were at the game, we shouldn't have lost that game. But for a neutral, it must have been an entertaining game to watch.
Here's Whitby for Eastleigh. Tried a bit of trickery. There's Ben Winterburn, who clears for Bournemouth. Might get on the breakaway here. Here's Brooks. Said about Da Costa Gonzalez there with that chance a couple of minutes ago. He's looking to turn provider here if he can take his man on down that right-hand side. He's got Brooks next to him. And that comes back towards Genesini. To Brooks. Da Costa Gonzalez. Here's Brooks. Lovely ball. A Duajai corner kick. Lovely football there involving 3 or 4 Cherries players. And it nearly paid off, but they do win a corner.
Yeah, it was that combination that led to a goal against Portsmouth. Brooks into Daniel Ajuajay, but another deflection's taken it away from the goalkeeper, so he didn't force him to make a save there.
So it is a live stream Hampshire Senior Cup with ESET. Lovely ball in. There's Brooks again. So 4 or 5 attempts for the Cherries so far in the first 16 minutes of this game. We've had 1 for Eastleigh on target, but not a bad start to this game at all. We will have a winner in some way or another this evening. Who's going to be getting to the final? We will be finding out later tonight exactly who will be in the final in the other tie as well, as Neil said, between Farnborough and Basingstoke. Aldershot out for a goal kick. Aldershot and Basingstoke, I should say. Got Farnborough on the brain, I think, tonight.
They're not far apart either, are they?
They're not, no, not geographically, they're pretty close. So there's back for the Cherries, back to the goalkeeper, Terrell, and still Bournemouth nil. They've been the side on top so far.
And you'll be pleased to know they're both in Hampshire.
That's true, yeah. Not even in Wiltshire or anywhere else. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, Eastleigh had a really good chance with Harley Stock, but you know we've had 3 or 4 chances now. A couple of deflected, a couple over the bar, and like everybody knows, Michael would normally put that away. So yeah, looking good at the moment.
So it's headed away this time, up towards Shaka. Would you believe the Hampshire Senior Cup, the highest ever attendance in the Hampshire Senior Cup was just over 20,000. The record attendance in the 1932 final. Watch Newport play Cowes at the Dell.
It's funny, we spoke on the last stream about this. I found this stat myself, and we were wondering why it was such a big crowd. And somebody thinks it was because it was before the days of floodlights. So the whole of the Isle of Wight piled over to the Dell at Southampton to watch those 2 teams playing in the final.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. I thought that was a unique fact I just found there, Neil, but no, you've already found that out yourself.
As we've got a lull in play, Ian, I'll give you another unique fact about the Hampshire Senior Cup. It holds the record for most consecutive penalties scored in a penalty shootout, believe it or not. And it involved Brockenhurst, who won 15-14 on penalties, and that is a world record for most consecutive penalties.
Well, that puts the 11-10 to shame, doesn't it, earlier on in the season for you?
It does, yeah.
To be fair, that did look like that was going to go on all night, Lou, didn't it?
We could have been there to midnight now.
Still be here now, I thought, at some point.
Don't speak too soon.
No, that's true. Well, we could have penalties tonight, couldn't we, at some point, but at the moment it is evenly poised as far as the score is concerned. Bournemouth have had the best chances. Eastleigh have hit the target once. What about your cousin as well? We brought this up a few times on the stream, but we had to bring it up at some point, Lewis. Fletcher Brown, named after the Cherries legend himself.
Yes, he is. My uncle Nathan Brown's a massive Bournemouth fan, and his best player was Steve Fletcher when he was younger. And obviously now they've named him Fletcher Brown.
But that's good for his ego, isn't it, when he found that out?
Yeah, who knows? Steve Fletcher's a big character in the club.
Here's a chance, though, for Whitby. Whitby puts the ball in. Good header that time from Genesini, under pressure from Chilwell. It is a corner kick, though, to Eastleigh. Good movement from the Spitfires, corner kick.
Yeah, that was brave defending by Brooke Genesini. Didn't know what was going to happen to him there, but he rose well and cleared it for a corner, which is just what the doctor ordered there, because the lad was powering in behind him.
So chances for both sides. It's a second corner for Eastleigh, and it's going to be Dylan Walker to take. And the furthest forward for them is Harris, the man in the 6-yard box. And eventually it goes just wide of the post, so it was an opportunity. Well, Chilwell was in there, but it went past the post. And it was a bit of a scare for Bournemouth, but they survived that time.
I'm not sure 2 or 3 of their players got in each other's way there. I think if they'd have left it to one, he would have had a free header.
Yeah, it did feel like they were too close together there on that occasion. For a goal kick. How do you find watching games, Lewis, though? You were chomping at the bit to be out there at the moment.
It's frustrating. I said to Neil when I first come in, I wish I was playing, but I've obviously got to listen to the physios. But hopefully the lads can get the job done tonight and I can get back for the final, hopefully.
Probably looks easy from up here as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see more things from up here, but when you're on the pitch, your decision-making's a bit quicker, and sometimes in games like this, it gets a bit frantic. But from up here, you get angry at your teammates, but you tell them afterwards what they can do. But hopefully we can just get the win, like I said.
So it is a throw then for Eastleigh, who are having a little bit of spell of pressure here. Probably their best period of the game so far.
Yeah, like we see, the corner was certainly a good opportunity there. It was a dangerous corner right into the 6-yard box. A couple of lads went for it. I just want to throw in there that this is obviously the development squad. Losing the development squad, but he is still an under-18 technically, Lou.
Yes, I am, Neil. You're correct, and I was lucky enough to be captain of the season that's just gone. Thank you to Alan Connell and his coaching staff for giving me the armband
and winning a trophy.
Yeah, we won the league.
It must be great, though, to be rewarded with the captaincy, and must be great for your confidence. And one of those where you imagine you probably always feel like it's something that you could have stepped into.
Especially when I've been at the club since the age of 7. Yeah, it's a good achievement.
Chance here, though, off the line. Terrell just missed it.
Ben Winterburn off the line, I think.
Yeah, Winterburn cleared it. Good play from him inside the penalty area just to get rid of the danger, and this time it's a free kick for the Cherries, and that will be a relief for Bournemouth just to be able to try and slow the game down a bit with that pressure from Eastleigh so far. 0-0. Halfway through the first half. It's a half that's gone pretty quickly so far, really, in fairness.
There've been a few chances at either end. That was another good chance for Eastleigh there, and Ben needed to be in the right place at the right time. Otherwise, that was going to be 1-0 to the hosts.
Ben Winterburn, midfielder, another player who can play in a variety of positions. He's got that versatility, but another player who just seems to be everywhere on the pitch, Lewis.
Yeah, me and him get called the James Milners of the team, to be fair. We can play right back, centre back, left back, centre midfield like he is tonight. But he's our engine tonight who can hopefully make the box and hopefully defend like he just did then.
There's Brooks who gives it away that time. That's the voice of Lewis Brown with us for commentary here of this live coverage of this Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final with ESET. Neil Perrott here as well from the Cherries media team. Here's Tommy Whitby. Whitby's going to have a go. And again, took a while to have their first real effort, Eastleigh, but they've had a few now in quick succession. And this time it's Tommy Whitby, and he sails over the crossbar and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question it's a very, very young Eastleigh team, as we can see. But I think there's about 6 under-18 starting tonight, Lou, as well. So we are fairly young. I know that we've got a Wales international in there as well.
Yeah, we are very young, but I back my boys, I back my second years to get the performance done. Obviously, we've got Garino, Billy Terrell and Brooklyn Genesini, and obviously David Brooks, the main man. Hopefully he can get the goals like he did against the Portsmouth. Yeah,
he's come close a couple of times. He nearly provided an assist as well. David Brooks, he's looked lively so far here tonight at the Silverlake Stadium between Eastleigh and Bournemouth. So there's going to be a little bit of stoppage in play here, while Brooklyn Genesini just receives a bit of treatment, the Yeovil-born fullback. And part of the Brazil soccer school between the ages of 6 and 9, Neil.
Yeah, I think I do remember that. I think it was Brooklyn Genesini who had some goal frame or something that fell on him when he was much younger as well, which was quite an unfortunate. I don't know if he's injured here from that brave header he made just a little while ago from the cross, perhaps.
Where do you get these stats from, Neil?
Ask people, Lou.
It was on the official website, but I think Neil wrote it for the website, I think, officially. So anything you see on there, Neil's written it. It's impressive. Yeah, on there it says, as you wrote, Neil, on there, 2 golf balls, the size of 2 golf balls on his head as a result of that metal frame falling on him. So I suppose any kind of injury now feels pretty insignificant to him, I'd imagine, after that, being a young boy.
Fortunately for you, Lou, I haven't got anything on you yet, but I will be digging.
I'm not playing, Neil, so you don't need to worry.
We've got another hour to find out a bit more as well about you throughout the evening. Here come Bournemouth, but the ball goes out of play that time and out for a throw. Well, Havant and Waterloo will have won this competition 3 of the last 6 seasons. So they've been pretty successful in this competition. A couple of seasons when Lee Bradbury was manager of The Hawks, currently manager of Eastleigh, but not taking charge of this game tonight. Leaving it more to the academy staff this evening, with all the youngsters playing. Kinsey Wellings plays forward out towards the right. Here's Da Costa Gonzalez, who had Bournemouth's best chance tonight. Might try and turn provider here. Good play from Da Costa Gonzalez, and it just sails wide of the post. That wasn't far off, was it at all? And he's getting closer.
I think Lou said earlier that, you know, he's going to do something now, and he did. Edge of his seat, just past the post.
That's what he's all about, isn't it, Da Costa Gonzalez? We were saying about, you know, put 10 minutes together against Liverpool and he looked brilliant. Somebody will be adding that to the YouTube compilation as we speak, won't we, for Da Costa Gonzalez?
He's got too many already. He doesn't need any more.
Probably his agent, Ian, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure. You haven't got one of those yet, have you, Lewis? One that kind of puts all your best bits together in 10 minutes?
Only goal of the month in January, that's it.
But the goal against Leicester in the FA Youth Cup that you scored, was it from 25 yards out, the volley? Was that up there with the best goals you've scored?
Probably the best, I'd say.
Yeah. It's got to be, hasn't it, surely?
Especially at the Vitality as well.
Towards Johnson.
Yes,
Played square. And under pressure there from the Duaget. Goal kick. But I can imagine that makes it all the special, being at Vitality Stadium to score goals like that. It must make it times 10, really, the pleasure you feel when you get those goals.
Yeah, it does. And the one thing I've got on Mike is I've won goal of the month and been nominated once, and he's been nominated quite a few times and never won it.
Do you remind him of that at all, Lou?
Yeah, I do when he scores special goals.
Got to keep his feet on the ground, haven't you?
We've got to keep him humble at some point, haven't we?
Just from that perspective, though, Lou, what's it like for an under-18 player to be involved in that? You know, the club involves women's goals, under-18s goals, development squad and first team. There are clubs who probably just put first team goals in there, which is quite an easy thing to do.
I think it's good from the club to look all round, especially women's. I even look at Ethan Sills, who's an under-15 who won goal of the month last month, and obviously the under-18s as well. I think it's good from the club to just not put first team goals in there.
Here's Toure Williams, and that goes back towards Kinsey Wellings. So no goals here so far. But again, it's one of these games that could easily have had a few goals flying in already, the way that this game's been going. Might get one here, though. Comes out towards Johnson. Comes off the foot in the end of Noah Boutin. So good movement. They're getting that ball in that final third pretty quickly, the Cherries, so far. And Eastleigh themselves, they beat AFC Stoneham 3-2 in the second round, a 1-0 win at home to Hythe and Dibden, and then a 2-1 win at Bashley to get to this stage of the competition.
Bashley are now in the hands of an ex-Bournemouth striker, Matt Tubbs.
And doing a good job. If they win tonight, they could move into playoff place, couldn't they, Bashley? So it's a pretty decent start to management. He was at Gosport for a bit, wasn't he, the coaching staff, but he's certainly doing well at Bashley at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a few local teams doing really well in the non-league. I know that Wimborne and Hamworthy United are all both up there in their respective league, well, the same league as well, actually, and Paul Town are looking like they could get in the playoffs as well, so it's good for the local area.
What do you make of that facility down at Wimborne, Lewis, and having that spell on loan? Because they've certainly done some work to it with the ground and the training ground and what have you.
For a non-league team, it's very, very good, to be fair. Not many non-league teams have that. Obviously, I went to Bristol Manor Farm with them, and it wasn't what Wimborne have. So they obviously want to go places, and hopefully, like I said, they can win the playoffs, because obviously it was the team I was at.
Yeah, they'll try and get up to the Southern Premier League this season, which would be a great achievement for them. We'll hope to join AFC Tottenham, who were promoted on Saturday, having won the title. But no goals here in association with ESETS in the Hampshire Senior Cup. David Brooks starts again tonight, and he's been part of a number of their attacks. So too is Da Costa Gonzalez. Boutin, who made that surging run earlier, was given away, and it could be an opportunity here for Eastleigh to break the deadlock. They're not going to, because Toure Williams gets back to stop Harris from getting the shot away. Nearly had a real opportunity, but credit to the Cherries to stop them from doing so. Here's Brooks. Brooks tries to put it out to the left-hand side to Johnson. Here's Johnson. Three wait for it. The flag's up and it's offside, but thought the Cherries were in there, not to be. Free kick to Eastleigh.
But I thought Eastleigh were in just before that, and it was a great interception from Toure. You know what he's all about, Lou. That was another part of his game.
People say that's the side of the game he needs to work on, but from what I've seen, Torrey doesn't need to work on that side of the game like we've just seen then.
Very true.
So it's been a match that has flowed pretty well so far. It's been an open game.
I don't think the referee's too happy with Brooke. I think he's still struggling a little bit after that possible clash of heads earlier, maybe.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Alan Connell.
And it looks like a sub's being readied.
Yeah, Alan Connell looks concerned, doesn't he? It looks like they are going to make a change here. Got to be careful, haven't you, with these things? So it
looks like Ollie Morgan potentially. Is it Ollie Morgan coming on? Yeah.
Yeah, Ollie Morgan on for Genesee.
No, it's Finn Tonks. It's Finn Tonks.
Finn Tonks. She's got the wrong number on.
Yeah, different to what the team sheet says.
Yeah, you might have heard that on the tunnel. The team sheet's wrong there. It's actually Finn Tonks, who is a natural right back, Lou, as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he's just come back from a knee injury, so this will be his first game, and hopefully it'll be a good test for him, but hopefully Finn can come out on top.
So a slight change on the team sheet, but it is Finn Tonks who's come onto the pitch there for the Cherries to try and work his magic. I was saying earlier as well about the amount of positions that you can play in. Lewis, is that a help to you, or sometimes is it a hindrance playing in different positions? Would you rather just stick to one, or is it something that you feel is good for your development?
When I was younger, to be fair, it was a good thing for me, because obviously when I was 15, 16-year-old, I was playing for Alan Connell's under-18s team at right back, which is a good achievement for especially a young lad. But now I do enjoy playing in the other positions, but centre midfield is where I do want to play.
Bit of exposure training with the first team as well, Lou. What's that been like?
It's a good exposure, to be fair. Obviously, we're trying to help them to stay in the Premier League, and hopefully they can. But it's been good. Obviously, the intensity and the difficulty is much higher, but I can deal with it sometimes, and sometimes you get exposed.
So any players sort of helped you out in particular, or all of them?
When Emi Marcondes was at the club, obviously he's on loan, and hopefully he's doing well. He was the lad that I used to speak to and obviously build a good relationship with. And obviously you got Ben Greenwood, who's playing tonight, who's played within the first team, so I speak to him a lot. And obviously the young lads like Billy Terrell and all them boys.
There was Greenwood with the ball that time. That just went underneath David Brooks, so an out for a throw for Eastleigh. Here at the Silverlake Stadium.
I'm just wondering if Jefferson Lerma's helped you out with any goal celebrations like he did at Tottenham on Saturday. That one where he took off and dived about 10 yards along the ground. It was brilliant to watch that.
He's a great character. He's a great lad to have, obviously, in the team, and obviously he helps me out when I train with the first team. He's just great all round, and hopefully he can stay at the club.
Here's Da Costa Gonzalez for Bournemouth. On the overlap. This time, good play from Bournemouth, who are going to win a corner. They're first for a while, but they've won a few now this evening. So it was put in there from Tonks. And now there's an Eastleigh player on the floor, so there's going to be a little bit of stoppage here.
Not sure I saw what happened there, but he looks in quite a bad way.
Yeah, Tom Grozetsky's on the floor at the moment for Eastleigh. So there's going to be a first real bit of stoppage. Or the second real bit of stoppage, I should say, this evening. Semi-finals of the Hampshire Senior Cup here. And he does look in a bad way, doesn't he? Finding it difficult to get back up onto his feet at the moment.
I know you cover a lot of Eastleigh games for BBC Radio Solent, Ian. I've been here 2 or 3 times, but the stadium just seems to get better and better every time you come back.
Yeah, it's a fantastic facility, isn't it? They're certainly going to be looking to improve the stand as well to the left of the cameras, which is, they plan to have it all done by the start of next season with director boxes at the back with permanent blue seats. So by August, that would be quite an achievement if they manage to do that. So once they do that, then they'll start to work on the rest of the ground. So they're exciting developments for Eastleigh at the moment. Although if the Cherries can build a stand within about a week, behind the goal that time, then I'm sure Eastleigh will be able to do something similar.
I got a feeling it may have been lifted in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was slightly different, so that was probably why. But in the meantime, it's a corner kick for Bournemouth. There's a chance, and it's headed behind and out of play for another corner kick. Wasn't it ready? I think it was, memory serves, at the Real Madrid friendly. All of a sudden, it was installed for that, I think.
I think you're right. The Ted McDougall stand was lifted in, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was. Not a bad game to get it ready, but it's another corner kick here for the Cherries. So that injury early on to Gajewski is now back up onto his feet. So we're going to get this match going again here. Player comes here towards Williams. Cleared back towards Tonks for Bournemouth. Brooks. Ball down from Greenwood. Decent ball. Try and get the shot away there from Winterburn. Couldn't quite. You imagine it's probably a second half that will open up even more, you think, Lewis, especially once one side gets the goal here. It just feels like that kind of game this evening.
Yeah, I was speaking to Stocky before the game, and obviously he said these Eastleigh lads played yesterday, so when it gets to that 60th, 70th minute mark, let's see what they're about.
Yeah, tiredness could well kick in, that's for sure. That is a big ask to play twice in 24 hours.
Well, that's on the back of the first team playing 4 games in 8 days recently as well, is that right?
Yeah, an unbelievable fixture congestion for them. It's been non-stop, but the pitch is in a pretty good condition with all these games that have been played on here recently. It's certainly improved over the years. Here's Brooks out towards the left-hand side. There's a chance for Balin Johnson. Bhutan this time kicks it off the foot of Kucheski. So it's going to be another corner kick for Bournemouth. They've had a few of these here. Once again, it's going to be Greenwood to take. Saw Greenwood also score that great strike, didn't we, against Derby in the Premier League Cup at Vitality Stadium earlier on in the season. That was a brilliant strike from outside the penalty area. He's going to try and turn provider here, and could have done not a bad corner at all. It's going to be left this time again for Greenwood. Dangerous ball. Oh, Brooks, and it's going to go for the shot there. But there was Da Costa Gonzalez with his back to goal instead. Back towards Tonks, towards Noah Bhutan. Seen him make a good few runs. There's another one. Johnson. Out to Brooks. Winterburn. Da Costa Gonzalez again. Not a bad ball, really. Across the face of goal. No one there to head it home. Here's Bhutan. Brooks' header that time, and it might fall to Winterburn. And no whistle, and Winterburn does get the shot away. And again, constant pressure at the moment from Bournemouth.
Yeah, the Eastleigh manager is not very happy about that. I think he thinks that Winterburn pushed him, but I just think he was just far too strong for him. Just shrugged him off on the edge of the box. Got a shot away there.
Yeah, it felt like good refereeing, didn't it? Just to let that one go. Did feel like he was physically strong to win the ball back. Basingstoke have a 1-0 lead in the Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final. Against Aldershot, here's a chance for Da Costa Gonzalez. There we go. Well, it felt like he was going to get on the score sheet eventually, and that's exactly what he's done. And it was going to take something pretty spectacular to give the Cherries a lead, and Bournemouth have one step closer to the Hampshire Senior Cup final. That is a piece of magic.
Lou, nothing that you haven't seen before?
I see that day in, day out, Neil. Ian, I told you this is going to happen for Mike, and obviously it has.
You called it, didn't you?
I did.
And as soon as he missed that opportunity earlier, it almost felt like the chance of him scoring was more likely after that. The way he's just responded. He came so close a few minutes later, but picked that one out.
Knowing Mike, when he missed that chance early on in the game, I knew he would score tonight.
He only scores spectacular goals, doesn't he? Well, he scores some simple ones, but generally they're right out the top drawer.
To be fair to you, Ian, I don't think I've seen him score a tap in this season.
No, that's true. And his brother Malcolm, Neil, he's not bad either, boy. You know, not bad to have those two coming through.
I haven't yet seen Malcolm, but I believe that he's a bit taller than Michael. Do you know him, Lou, at all?
Yeah, I know Malcolm's obviously because of Mike, but Malcolm's a very good player. He's versatile like me, and he's playing for our under-18s at the minute.
He's about 6'5", isn't he, Lewis?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to mess with him, would you, Ian?
He'll be about 7 foot by the time he's 21, I'd have thought. There's Bhutan. To Johnson. Now can Bournemouth build on this? It's to Costa Gonzalez has given the Cherries a lead. Williams. To Johnson. Greenwood. As soon as he hit it, you knew it was kind of heading in, really. And as soon as you give him some space on the ball, he's going to take advantage of Costa Gonzalez. And now he's on the ball once more. Tonks on the overlap. Good ball to him. And he wins the corner. And now they're really starting to move through the gears, the Cherries, it feels.
Yeah, Lou touched on it earlier. You know, they played 2 games in 24 hours. It's going to catch up with you eventually. I'm not saying it has after 42 minutes, but I know that you're a supremely fit bunch. Alan wouldn't have it any other way, Lou.
No, he wouldn't. And obviously, Finn's come on now for Genesini, and Finn and Michael have played together all season, so hopefully we can see more combinations by them.
Brooks out towards the right. And then that time it sails over the bar. But talking of fitness levels, there's been many occasions where you've had to do that, play one day and then the next day. I remember early in the season on a Friday night, we had the development side in action in the Premier League Cup, and then on a Saturday morning, 1 or 2 of those who came on for 15 minutes then played again the next day.
Yeah, I think that was it the Derby game, I think it was?
Well, it was just before the Liverpool FA Youth Cup game, because on the Saturday, Alan had to substitute about 4 or 5
4 or
players.
5 of his players off, but then we played on the Monday night anyway against QPR.
That's intense. In the meantime, here's a Duaget to Johnson. Johnson, just a little bit too far there to Costa Gonzalez. I think we've mentioned it in most streams about the moped situation when he had that moped accident, Neil, when he was about 6 years age. It had to come up again at some point tonight. We'll come back to that in a second. Here's to Costa Gonzalez. And then back towards Williams.
Yeah, it used
but
to be
it's
right.
Such a good fact that it needs to be repeated, doesn't it?
He
really?
used to kick with his right foot predominantly, and now he kicks with his left foot because he injured his foot in a moped accident. His dad was driving, I think, not him.
In the meantime,
when he was
Brooks.
a kid.
And then it's cleared on the edge of the penalty area. Yeah, that's why his dad was right in the moped. And now Bournemouth are in possession with Greenwood. Greenwood plays it down the left-hand side. Is Johnson, the flag's up. I suppose it would be really if he was 6 years of age as well, wouldn't he, really?
Well, he's certainly obviously put a lot of work in on his left foot if he can finish like that, Ian, as well,
Yeah.
you've got to say.
Does he bring it up much, Lewis, the moped accident, or does he bring it up most days?
The first time I heard that was actually from Neil, so I did actually know that.
So you've learned a few things today, Lewis, this evening so far.
I have, and we've only played 43 minutes. Let's see what else Neil has.
Long way to go.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story, Lou.
So I can imagine we might have a fair bit of injury time here, because there was that injury to Kucheski. Genesini had to come off after that little bit of stoppage for a couple of minutes, so we may have 3 minutes of stoppage perhaps, but we'll find out in a second. We're into the final minute of normal time here. This live stream in the Hampshire Senior Cup. And it's a good chest down. He tries to get the shot away there, Chilwell. And it goes back towards Bhutan. Winterburn. Brooks. Da Costa Gonzalez, the goal scorer. Out to Tonks now again towards Brooks. It'd be a good time to score just before half-time to extend their lead if they can. 40 minutes in was the Cherries' goal. And Tonks back to Brooks.
Lou, I don't want you to give away any secrets internally, but do you think we'll see Brooksy come out for the start of the second half as well?
To be honest with you, Neil, I have no idea, because obviously I've been injured, so I've been inside with Bestley, so I don't know.
Yeah, he played 45 minutes in the last round, of course, against Portsmouth, but that was a few weeks ago, so, perhaps it could be an hour, who knows even more.
Here is Brooks. He might get an assist here. And he very nearly did as well, as he played it across. Well, it was David Brooks there looking, perhaps if he does come off at half-time, that might be one of his last contributions in towards Bailyn Johnson, but they just couldn't quite find it into the bottom corner. Good play from him. So Johnson and Winterburn just both very close to each other there. And Bhutan manages to get himself out of trouble the first time. And then he gives away the free kick, and you can't really have too many complaints about that one.
No complaints at all, no. And I think the home crowd are delighted because the referee's given them a free kick, and they haven't had too many this half.
And this, you feel, might be where they're most dangerous, Eastleigh, in this final third with this free kick, set pieces. Certainly the senior side have been good at set pieces this season. Ex-Bournemouth management team as well in Lee Bradbury and Brian Stock there. They're doing quite well. They're on the fringes of the playoffs. They are, and there was a lot of last season, particularly a real connection between Bournemouth and Eastleigh. You had Brett Pittman there last season, Danny Hollands. Even Joe Partington was there the year before. And with a left foot, and it's a chance here, and it sails wide, and that was a real opportunity as it went towards the far post. Lovely, intelligent chip into the box, and they were looking to head that towards the bottom corner. They couldn't quite pay off for them there, but not a bad header at all there from the centre back. Then Wan put it wide of the post, but not again, it's a decent ball, an intelligent chip into the penalty area, and just before half-time, that really could have been an equaliser there.
Yeah, I thought that was quite a good chance. I think Alan will go into half-time. He'd be very pleased with the way they played. Perhaps he would probably hope that Eastleigh aren't, they've given them a couple of chances, one or two chances. If they could tighten those up, just have it all our own way, keep control. That's what Alan will want in the second half. I think, Neil, the most disappointed I'll be about is set pieces. He's got a big thing about set pieces, and we do them on Fridays or before games, and we do defending and attacking, but defending, he doesn't like conceding from them.
There's Greenwood out towards Johnson. So into the final minute now then of stoppage time, our last few seconds of the first half. This might be the last chance of the half if they can get an opportunity. I don't think they are going to get a chance here. And there we are, half-time, a goal on 40 minutes, and it was a pretty decent strike, as you often expect from that man, Michael da Costa Gonzalez, separating the two sides. Bournemouth have had the better of it. It's a deserved lead. They've had some good opportunities. And then you've had David Brooks, da Costa Gonzalez, Johnson, Aduaje, all in that front four, looking pretty dangerous this evening. And they've been rewarded with a goal. And Lewis, at half-time, what do you think of that performance and what you've seen for the Cherries so far?
I think our attacking threat's been very good, but like I said, hopefully we can tighten up these set pieces and we can get more goals. And hopefully, like I said, Eastleigh played yesterday and they might tire towards the end, so that's where we get our goals from.
And Neil, they've all put a shift in tonight. You'd say that pretty much individually, you look through that whole lineup and they've all given a pretty good account of themselves so far tonight.
Yeah, like we said earlier on about how fit they're going to be. Alan wouldn't have it any other way, they've certainly edged the chances, there's no question about that. Eastleigh have had a couple of chances. Billy Terrell, I don't think has had a save to make as yet. A couple of chances have gone wide of the target. You've got to argue that we probably could have had a couple more goals. Certainly Michael could have scored before he did score, and a couple of chances deflected wide of the post as well. So I think it's probably a fair reflection. 1-0 could have been maybe more.
So we've got second half coverage to come, but we're going to look through these chances and the goal now before we go away for half time, and we'll be bringing you second half coverage in association with ESET. This is an opportunity here for Bournemouth as Bhutan with the assist or the chance to put the ball into the penalty area. There was da Costa Gonzalez with the chance, and that was an easier one for him, and then a left-footed shot went wide of the post, and that, Lewis, is when you felt that Bournemouth were getting closer. But here's another opportunity here, da Costa Gonzalez. This time he took the opportunity. What about that? Picked that one out.
He should have scored the first one, Ian, to be fair.
Should have a hat-trick, shouldn't he, tonight?
He should have.
But it's a great curl on that ball, and he managed to find the back of the net. And his all-round game tonight, Neil, has been pretty good, as you would expect from him. He's been here, there, everywhere, taking men on, cutting inside. He's had a bit of everything again tonight, Costa Gonzalez.
I described him earlier as an edge-of-the-seat player, and that's exactly what he's been in that first 45 minutes. Every time he gets the ball, I don't think sometimes he knows what he's going to do with it, Lou, but certainly he's so exciting to watch, and you want to watch him when he's got the ball at his feet.
He's an exciting player, and when in training, when we do 1v1s, you don't want to defend against him because, like you said, Neil, you don't know what he's going to do.
So we'll see if he can produce some more magic in the second half. We will be back for some live coverage in just under a quarter of an hour's time here on this Cherry stream with ESET's at half-time Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final. Just one goal in it, and it's come for the Cherries. Half-time at the Silverlake Stadium. It's EC 0, Bournemouth 1. And welcome back to the Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final, where it took something pretty special to break the deadlock, and it had to be that man, didn't it? Michael da Costa Gonzalez, who cut inside from the right-hand corner penalty area. His left-footed shot curled towards the top corner and has given Bournemouth a deserved 1-0 lead here. And a substitution made at half-time for Eastleigh is Dots comes on for Eben Harris, who comes off. So Dotso comes on for the Spitfires in their change at half-time. Bournemouth made one change in the first half. It was an enforced one, with Genesini coming off and Finn Tonks coming on in a right-back position. Live second-half coverage to come here with ESET. I'm Ian Wilding with Neil Perrott from the Bournemouth media team and Lewis Brown, the young Cherries midfielder, unavailable tonight, but he is available to join us for commentary as Eastleigh are going to get us underway in the second half. And hopefully, Lewis, Bournemouth can produce, from a Cherries perspective, a similar performance to what they produced in the first half, because if they keep playing like that, they should be okay in the second.
Yeah, I thought it was a dominant display, to be fair. Obviously, we give away a couple of set pieces, but
now they're in trouble here, sorry, and it's played back. Or the manager, Williams, got them out of trouble. So it's a chance here for Eastleigh. Well, good defending from Williams, and then it's miskicked in the end that time from Chilwell. But, well, that kind of came from nowhere, really. Weren't really expecting that in the early stage of the second half. And then it's a ball into the penalty area there up towards Dotsu. But then there is Terrell in the Bournemouth goal.
Yeah, I think you can see by Billy Terrell's reaction there that he knows that he's made a bit of an error there. But fortunately, it didn't lead to a goal, so move on.
Yeah, got away with that one in the end. Sorry, Lewis, you're saying about the momentum and the tempo from the first half.
yeah, I thought it was good, but obviously, like I said, we give away a couple of set pieces, which is disappointing from our behalf, but hopefully we can stop giving away sloppy mistakes and we can carry on our dominant display.
So Bournemouth in possession, and they scored that goal on 40 minutes. And the winners tonight will play either Aldershot or Basingstoke in the final. Basingstoke took that lead in the first half in the other semi-final. And the final, would you believe, the record scoreline came back in 2000 when Aldershot beat Andover by 9-1. We've had a couple of 8-0s there as well, so we've had a few goal fests in the Hampshire Senior Cup finals in the past.
Do you know what? It's interesting because I think that not in the final, but we played someone and won 8-0, and we had 2 or 3 first-team players coming back, one of whom was Simon Francis, and I've just seen him here tonight watching in the crowd.
Oh, well, there you go. There he is, here in the main stand, watching the Cherries leading by that 1-0 so far. And Eastleigh have it forward from Trukewski. And they try and put it forward there up towards Whitby. And the Cherries are going to pick up the pieces. But Lewis, I mean, you've been around with Bournemouth in a number of countries. You've been, was it Holland? You've been touring a couple of other places in the past. That must have been a great experience.
Holland, Italy. Went to Scotland for a pre-season tour this season, to be fair. We played Rangers in Middlesbrough, which is a good test for us.
That must be great for team bonding and what have you.
Yeah, it is, especially the nights we just chill, go in each other's room, play games, and you just bond with each other, especially at pre-season, just coming back into the groove of things, so you get back down to business.
That was a whirlwind one in Scotland, wasn't it? Up one day, back the next day.
Yes, it was.
In the meantime, here's Bhutan for the Cherries. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Forward it comes. Nice little flick there that time from Brooks, who's still on the pitch, playing more than the 45 minutes tonight. Forward up towards Tonks. Tries to put Brooks away. Tonks with a cross again. Here comes Brooks. 3 in the penalty area. Good run. Can they find the opportunities here? Back towards Da Costa Gonzalez. Out again to Tonks. Tonks, can he find Da Costa Gonzalez on the overlap? So 2 wait for it, and is he fouled? Yes, he is. Free kick for the Cherries, and there might be an early chance here in the second half, and it's 1 there from Da Costa Gonzalez.
Ian, that's exactly what I was saying in the first half. That's what Michael can do out of nowhere, especially in a 2v2 with Finn, and the defenders so tight to each other. He can just win you silly fouls like they just did then.
And he's put Bournemouth in a decent position here with this free kick. There's a couple of standing over it, Greenwood and Brooks. It's going to be a quick one to Da Costa Gonzalez. And Brooks. Decent ball. Oh, and it's beautiful.
Max Kinsey-Wellings.
Kinsey-Wellings has extended the Cherries' lead here to make it 2-0. And it was as easy as you like. Well, he made it look easy, but it was far from that. Lovely football. And there is Kinsey-Wellings And it's a comfortable lead now for the Cherries, who go 2-0 up in this tie. Lovely play there from the centre-back.
Lou, we know how good he is defensively, but that was sensational in the 6-yard box, wasn't it?
To be fair, he used to play number 4 for Southampton, and he keeps on telling us that he's a number 4. But he hasn't scored all season, Neil, for the under-18s, but he scored twice for the under-21s.
I mean, the easy thing to do would be to just thump that towards goal first time. But he added other ideas. He just made it look so easy.
To be fair, Ian, I'm surprised he didn't try and head it like he normally does.
Let's not lose sight of the build-up as well. Michael De Costa and David Brooks, the build-up was superb from that free kick here that Michael won.
They might get another one here as Johnson tries to feed it through towards Aduajay. Kinsey Wellings there showing all his magic to extend Bournemouth's lead. So he scored one, so too is De Costa Gonzalez, who got the first. And now is Toure Williams. And now they're playing with real confidence, aren't they, the Cherries? Brooks are the 1-2, just gets away, gets a nice touch. De Costa Gonzalez to Brooks. Can he find the pass? Back to De Costa Gonzalez to Williams. Williams wants it played forward as he makes the run. Back out to Brooks. Lovely through ball here. Chance of the Cherries out wide towards Tonks. Just patiently building up play, and they might get him behind the defence here. De Costa Gonzalez, back to Brooks, and Brooks forces a save. And Bournemouth are going to get another chance from Aduajay, and Eastleigh are going to clear. But Brooks there, creating space to find a shot in the first place, and now Bournemouth are really enjoying themselves out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, David Brooks didn't get a first-half hat-trick in this game, but he's certainly going to have got a lot out of this game. Exactly why he's here tonight, to get what he's going to get out of this game. He's been involved a lot. He's had a hand in that goal there. Just what he would have wanted.
Yeah, perfect. And a really good, promising, fast start.
Just ask Lou. Lou said what it's like to have David Brooks in his team. What's it going to be like for these Eastleigh players to be playing against him as well?
To be honest, Neil, I wouldn't want to play against him. His feet are sharp, he's quick in behind, and he's quick when the ball goes at his feet. So I wouldn't want to defend against him, especially these Eastleigh lads, especially when they've got a young team out.
I'm thinking about maybe from an experience point of view, though, they will learn loads from it.
They will learn loads, especially because they're young lads, especially like Eastleigh have got a young team out, and it helped their development.
So it's a perfect start to the second half of the Cherries. Here is Brooks, who started off brilliantly in the second half. Takes around a few players, eventually he does win the free kick. Right on the edge of the penalty area. And again, he kind of won that from nothing, didn't he, really? And you've got a few options here to take this free kick. You've got 3 or 4 here who could really hit them from this distance. Who's your money on here, Lewis?
I think it will be Ben Greenwood.
Let's get David Brooks up and moving first of all before we get too carried away, because the last thing we would want to see him get another injury, because despite his illness recently, he also had a bad injury as well, which stopped him coming back earlier than he would have hoped before.
Yeah, very much so. And
He
in
looks
the end,
okay.
Yeah, that's good news. And in the end, it didn't quite go how I thought it was going to go, and ended up playing it back, keep possession, but Eastleigh had possession on this left-hand side instead. And Honey sets forward for the Spitfires. Given away that time from Harley Stock, the son of Brian. As Williams goes square. And then Greenwood, the skipper, goes left. Here's Bailyn Johnson. Oh, what a brilliant strike that is. We've had 3 brilliant goals, but that is the pick of the bunch. Bailyn Johnson, you do not save those, and the Cherries go 3-0 up.
Take a bow, Bailyn Johnson.
Well, if you're watching the stream, you've got value for money there, haven't you? That's worth the entrance fee alone.
Well. I mean, he had so much to do. The fact that he cut in with his left foot, had the strike. Well, that went exactly where he intended it to go. That exact corner, that exact spot, which left the goalkeeper, Mees, with absolutely no chance whatsoever.
Lou, you've told us all about Michael. Tell us all about Bailyn.
They're both 2 creative wingers, and Bailyn Johnson obviously coming from Arsenal, under 16, he's played his first year. And we know what Bailyn can do, and obviously he's just showed what he can do then. He's got a fabulous right foot.
Another one. I mean, De Costa Gonzalez's goal was good, but that one puts that to shame, doesn't it? That's going to keep Costa Gonzalez down to earth, a strike like that. Now he's got to try and better that one, Neil.
I think shame's a harsh word to Ian.
Yeah, it was quite a harsh word. But.
To be honest with you, Neil and Ian, in training, them two like playing shooting competitions, and they have a bit of banter. So after the game, if we win, I'm sure they have a bit of banter about their goals.
They certainly had a shooting competition tonight.
Yeah. That's only going to encourage Costa Gonzalez to go even better now, I'd have thought.
He should have scored a hat-trick, though, in the first half.
Yeah, he should have done. He could be walking away with a match ball.
Maybe we could get Lou to interview him after the game and say, Michael, you should have had a hat-trick in the first half.
I'll just batter him in the change room, Neil, don't worry.
What's the situation when you get a hat-trick? Understand there's not an opportunity to keep the match ball, is there, until you're a bit older?
No, we do get the opportunity to keep the match ball. I remember we played Cheltenham away and Daniel Aduajay scored a hat-trick and he got to keep the match ball and we all signed it for him. So that's a good memory to keep.
Oh, that's good, because there's some clubs where they don't allow that when you're a certain age for some reason. I don't know whether it's trying to keep players down to earth, but it's one of those you want to keep, especially if it's your first.
Exactly that. Daniel scored 2 this season, though, so maybe he can give one back.
Yeah, return it. In the meantime, here's Tonks.
Do they still have the rule about black boots?
Yeah, until you become a development squad player, you have to wear black boots all the way through.
Well, now towards Tonks is a beautiful ball from Ginzy Wellings, and now it's an opportunity to put the ball in. They're really going well here, Bournemouth. Here is Brooks. And then it's picked up in the end from Mies. And Mies straight to a Cherries player. Well, we did think the second half was going to open up quite a bit, didn't we? It wasn't a bad first half at all, but we've had 3 glorious goals so far, and they've all come to the Cherries here in this Hampshire Senior Cup tie.
3 glorious goals on Saturday at Tottenham as well.
Yeah, emulating the senior team, aren't they, tonight? Baden Johnson, even if he had a strike like that in the Premier League, there's no Premier League goalie saving that one, is there? That's for sure. An unbelievable strike for him to make it 3.
Just think if there was match of the day on tonight, we'd be on first again.
It would be, wouldn't it? There'd be 3 goal of the month contenders or goal of the week contenders. But at the moment, it's the Cherries who are well in control at the moment. Eastleigh had a few opportunities in the first half. And here's Toure Williams. Out to Costa Gonzalez. At the moment, Bournemouth, you'd say the possession-wise, Lewis, is well over 70% in the second half, isn't it? Eastleigh finding it difficult to get the ball off them at the moment.
I think because Eastleigh obviously played yesterday, so they might be tiring a little bit, but
yeah.
Bournemouth are a possession-based team, so hopefully we can keep that stat up.
Well, Farnborough are the current champions of the Hampshire Senior Cup. They beat Eastleigh 4-1 on penalties here at the Silverlake last season. It was 2-2 after normal time. Thought at one stage like we might need penalties. We're not going to get it tonight, that's for sure. With Bournemouth the way they're playing, Baden Johnson, that's going to be too far for him, so it's a throw for Eastleigh, which Grajecki is going to take. And we weren't going to bring up your dad, but I thought it was... Now's the right time, isn't it, really? After a 3-0 lead, you're in a bit of a lull. You thought we were going to bring up eventually, didn't you, really? Your dad, manager of Bournemouth Poppies, and doing well as well. And what are your thoughts on having him as, you know, with your motivational speaker and what have you? Is he one of these who gives you words of advice on a daily basis?
When I was younger, he did, because obviously he wanted me to get to the top as I can. But now I've grown and mature. I know what I need to do myself. But he still gives me that motivation if I have a bad game or if I think I have a bad performance. And yeah, he's been in non-league quite a while and he's doing quite well with Bournemouth Poppies.
Big end of season for them?
Yes, they've got 2 big games coming up.
Which are?
Hamble away and Moneyfields at home on a Tuesday night.
Get yourself down to Victoria Park for the Moneyfields game then, yeah?
Yes. Neil will be there.
Do you get yourself down much? I suppose it's difficult for you, really, with what you do, clashes with all your other commitments. As Costa Gonzalez now for Bournemouth, in towards Aduajay and back towards Brooks.
Great ball.
Good ball, keeps possession. And cleared up towards the substitute Dotze, who's not going to get there. and Greenwood does.
Lou, I think you get there when you can. You play on a Saturday morning and get over to Victoria Park when you can.
Yeah, I do, but obviously I didn't do much when we was playing in the Youth Alliance, but now the 21s don't have a league and we train Saturday mornings, so I try and get down there as much as I can.
That was brilliant for Williams, wasn't it? Out left towards Johnson. Oh. Great play from him as well. Nearly found Da Costa Gonzalez. It's going to find Walker instead for Eastleigh. A lovely trickery there from Williams to put him away down the left-hand side. And now it's Tonks for Bournemouth. David Brooks. So we've approached the hour mark now with this Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final with ESET. And here's a substitute again, Tonks. Back to Brooks. Just slowing the tempo down slightly, looking for those openings. Brooks in field, Da Costa Gonzalez. Winterburn. Johnson. Bhutan's on the overlap. Back to Ben Winterburn. Nice one touch. Winterburn's into the box. There's Johnson. Aduaje's in there. Off the head that time of Chilwell. And the volley that time from Brooks. Didn't get it on target. Didn't get the accuracy that he wanted on it as he looks for his first goal of the night. But he's really put in a good performance. And good now that he's played an hour, David Brooks. How much longer he's going to play for, I don't know. But every minute is going to be vital for him just to add that extra little bit of match fitness, Lewis, tonight.
Yeah, hopefully we can see him get the full 90.
Yeah, he's edging closer towards it. Just half an hour to go in this game at the moment. The Cherries are 1-0 up at half-time.
I'm just looking at the match report from that 8-0 game. It was actually against Basingstoke Town, and Lloyd Kelly played as well.
Well, that's impressive. And at the moment, it's a comfortable lead for the Cherries here, but they've got 3 so far tonight. To Eastleigh's 0. Brooks back to Williams. I remember watching one pre-season game a few years ago, Neil. Was it against Dorchester? And I think Bournemouth won 13-0 or something. Something ridiculous. But Eddie Howe put 2 unbelievably strong teams out on 2 different halves in a pre-season friendly.
Were you in goal for Dorchester that day?
I may as well have been. I think he made as many saves as I would have done.
God, I don't remember that one, actually, to be fair.
Here come Bournemouth, though, ball in the box. I was doing updates that day, and they kept going to me every 3 minutes. Goes another goal at the Avenue.
I remember when I was very young, I watched Paul Rideout playing a cup final for my Lawrence boys team, and they won 21-0, and he scored 15 goals.
That's 5 match balls. Difficult to get them all in your boot, that's for sure. So it's a throw for Eastleigh then, which Bailey Honeysett will take. It'll be interesting to see how this last half an hour goes. So it's one of those now where you can start thinking about the final, really, in a few weeks' time. Now Brooks does make the run. Is Brooks going to get there? He does. Is he going to find the finish? He will. And David Brooks is on the score sheet once more. His 4th goal in 2 games in the Hampshire Senior Cup. He's built on that hat-trick against Portsmouth, and his really decent performance deserved a goal. He's got the goal, and Bournemouth lead by 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything he could have asked for. Again, like I said earlier, he hasn't scored a hat-trick yet. He's scored, he's assisted for a goal, he's had a really, really good run out. It's a lot longer than 45 minutes as well. No sign of him coming off at the moment, so this is just everything that the club would have wanted. You know, the first team manager, Gary O'Neill, will be delighted to see him and what he's doing in this game.
Yeah, and he was so cool and composed there, wasn't he? As soon as he got the better of his man, you knew he was going to only do one thing and slot it underneath the goalkeeper as Chilwell plays it back for Eastleigh. And then Wan back to the goalkeeper, Meese, and then forward towards Palmer, the former Bournemouth Academy man, goes out to the left-hand side.
I think David Brooks knows it's a very, very difficult first team to force your way into at the moment. 4 wins in 6, 16 points out of the last 10. Really, really flying at the moment. So he knows it's going to have to be a waiting game. He's going to have to be patient to get his chance. But
you know, as players have proved over the last few weeks, when you get your chance, you have to take it. You know, you look at someone like Chris Mepham, wasn't in the squad one week, and then in next week he's in the starting lineup and was brilliant.
Here's Johnson, there's another. Johnson into the box, a Douaget with the finish. It's 5 for Bournemouth, and they're running riot now. Once again, that pace from Bailyn Johnson getting in behind the defence, played it across, a Douaget with a tap in. Eastleigh 0, Bournemouth 5.
Yeah, running riot is probably how I describe it, and you know, with 25 minutes to go, it's going to be a real tough last 25 minutes for Eastleigh, because we've said how young they are. Let's not take that away. You know, they are young, and although we've got 6 under-18s in the starting lineup, we've also got, you know, David Brooks, who's starting to really turn the screw now, as are a lot of the other players.
How tough is it, Lewis? Imagine you've been in that position at times when you are 5-0 down, when the match is over. How difficult is it then as a youngster? And I suppose it's great for experience, but difficult for that last 25 minutes just to keep yourself going in this situation.
Yeah, it is good for experience, but for these Eastleigh lads now, you want to be that standout player in that team, so you just got to keep yourself motivated and keep getting on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and the boot was on the other foot for our under-18s on Saturday. They fielded a lot of 14, 15, 16-year-olds, as they do in the Merit League. They went to a really strong Plymouth team. Plymouth renowned for playing a lot of under-18s. They keep their under-18s. They don't seem to send so many out on loan. And we ended up losing 7-1. So, you know, these things happen in academy football.
They certainly can. Alan Connell put out a competitive team against Norwich. It was a defeat and a friendly nil last week, but he said he was really pleased and positives about how competitive they were in that game.
Yeah, and Aston Villa, Lou would have played in the Aston Villa game. They didn't play in that one, you were injured, okay. But another competitive team, another great game at Aston Villa's training ground as well, where Billy Terrell came up with a goal right at their death.
Most unlikely goal scorer. I wonder if he'll ever score again. I doubt it somehow, but that was quite a moment for the goalkeeper.
Looks like the scoreboard's refusing to acknowledge the 5th goal.
Well, funny enough, when Eastleigh went 5-2 down against Gateshead a couple of weeks ago, they turned the scoreboard off. So, the scoreboard is having a tantrum. Never to be seen again.
Right, now then, we have a sub coming on. Do we think this could be David Brooks' replacement, Lou? Oh, 2 subs. 30.
Yeah, Tideman is about to come on for Bournemouth.
It could be David Brooks coming off, you're correct, Neil.
Keane Tideman, 30 Occo.
Yep, so Occo looks like he's going to come on, as you say, as well. Having been part of the academy at West Ham and Spurs, had that loan at Truro City, Ferdy Occo. And Eastleigh are making a substitution. On is going to come Leo Downing. And that is the end of David Brooks' night as he comes over towards the touchline. And he's had an excellent game and he's been rewarded with a goal with the Cherries 5-0 up. Douaget with the 5th, Brooks with the 4th.
Like Ben Winterburn.
Winterburn off. And Ferdy Occo is coming on. And another solid game for Winterburn tonight, Lewis.
Yes, it's been a solid game. Like I said, he's our engine in our team, so Al's probably just giving him a rest. He might probably be training in the morning, though.
and let's not forget, Lou, he's had a really bad injury as well. He's come back from that.
Yeah, he did on his ACL, no, he did. And obviously, when you're 4-5 up, you just got to look after them kinds of players. He still gets bruising sometimes. Sometimes it annoys him in training, and sometimes he has to pull out. So Alan's just looking after him tonight.
Yeah.
So with 22 minutes left to play, the Cherries have a 5-0 lead. And they're finding those openings now and getting in behind the defence a lot more in the second half than in the first, although they did do it a fair few times in the first. Forward it comes from Boutin to Johnson, who set up that goal and scored a cracking goal as well. Good that they're spreading the goals around amongst different players tonight, the Cherries.
Yeah, it's the 3rd time in 4 games we've got 5 goals in this competition.
Yeah, goals are plenty so far this campaign in the Hampshire Senior Cup. Final set to be at Fratton Park next month. Flag goes up though. Johnson can't keep it in play that time.
still Basingstoke winning 1-0 apparently against Aldershot Town in the other semi-final.
So at the moment it's Bournemouth against Basingstoke as things stand.
And that would be a repeat of a final that I attended at St Mary's that Bournemouth lost on penalties maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
So it could be maybe as tight, could have drama there if that's the case.
I think Mark Molesley was the development squad manager in those days. So yeah, could be 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Bournemouth player back that time from Kinsey Wellings. And they've all been pretty comfortable for Bournemouth on the whole. That 5-0 win at Fulham Sports, apart from that 0-0 draw on penalties when they got through.
That was anything but comfortable, I can assure you. I was there.
Yeah.
Anything
The
but
others
putting
were.
the ball in the net, Neil.
Although no signs of nerves as far as the penalties are concerned that evening. That's definitely the case, as Bournemouth have it now with Ferdy Oko.
Just talking about playing Eastleigh and Fratton Park and places like that and Vitality Stadium, just tell us about that night at Tadley, because they had quite a partisan crowd of 700 behind them, didn't they? Particularly with the penalties behind the goal as well. They were all there.
Yeah, they did. It was a frustrating night, but their fans played a big part, and luckily we got the job done on penalties.
It's a chance now then for Bournemouth, and the shot is blocked, and Oko might get the shot, but it's eventually put in there from Tiedemann, and Bournemouth make it 6. He's only been on the field for a couple of minutes. It was Oko who had the shot in the first place, and then there's Tiedemann, both linking up there within a couple of minutes after coming on. It's 6-0 to Bournemouth. And Eastleigh about to make another substitution, and George Pomeroy is going to come on for the Spitfires, and off is going to go Dylan Walker.
Yeah, the importance of being ready there, and Kean Tiedemann was certain ready. Seized on that loose ball after the keeper had made a save and made it 6-0.
So save from Lewis Mees, and it just felt like it was inevitable before the ball was going to be put in the back of the net. And there is Tiedemann to do the rest and get on the score sheet. Tiedemann, who spent his time, didn't he, at Fulham, 2 years there. Number of goals and assists in the past for his previous clubs and with the Cherries.
Yeah, he's another tidy little player. Lou can tell us a little bit more about what type of player he is.
He's firstly coming up as a striker now, and obviously he's playing 8 tonight, but he's an out-and-out goal scorer, and he's a creative player as well.
Oh, what about this from Da Costa Gonzalez, who's forward again? Through the legs there, as Tiedemann leaves it. Johnson into Tiedemann back to Da Costa Gonzalez. The Cherries have 6 tonight. Toure Williams. Ball out to the right-hand side. It's asking a bit there of Leo Downing, but they do win a throw easily. Scoreboard has eventually been updated, Neil. They've put 2 up now for 6 for Bournemouth.
I think it might be that it's missing the number 5. Maybe the key's gone wrong or something. They can't do the 5.
Yeah, probably why it was there for Gateshead, wasn't it? Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a pattern going on at the moment. But they've definitely got a number 6 on there because the scoreboard has been updated with the Cherries leading. And it's all happened in the second half. It was 5 flying in since half-time. And Lewis was saying in the first half, I mean, it seems a while ago now, but even at 0-0 at 25 minutes, both sides having their opportunities, and we were wondering how it was still 0-0 at that stage.
Maybe because Marco Da Costa Gonzalez couldn't score. But no, both teams have had their chances, but Bournemouth have just taken theirs better.
Yeah, I think this half has been very one-sided, hasn't it? I mean, there was that really early scare when Billy Tyrrell made an error right at the start of the second half, but since then it's been fairly comfortable for Bournemouth, I think.
Yeah, as Bhutan delivers it up the line, wins a throw for the Cherries.
Listen, we know that results aren't the be-all and end-all at this academy level, but, you know, Alan's going to be absolutely delighted, particularly with the second half where they've been so clinical in front of goal and in total control, really.
And they've got a chance again here with Da Costa Gonzalez. Oko's in the middle, and he tries to go it alone in the end. Aduaje was there, but the option was there to put it into Aduaje, but he kind of went for the spectacular, and that would have taken some doing.
I think Daniel is saying to Michael the option was there to pass to me. Do you think, is that fair to say?
Knowing Daniel is an out-and-out goal scorer, so probably, yeah.
That sails out of play for a goal kick for Eastleigh. So 6 for the Cherries. And they've certainly had some good partnerships tonight. Kinsey Wellings and Greenwood. Again, they haven't had a great deal to do, those two, but when they have had to deal with some of Eastleigh's long balls, they've dealt with it pretty well so far, Lewis.
Yes, they have. Obviously, Max is an out-and-out centre-back, and Greeno's a left-back / left centre-back. So they've just got to keep their concentration now for the final 15 minutes, and hopefully we don't concede goals.
Yeah, just another quarter an hour to go here in this Hampshire Senior Cup. Sponsored by ESET tonight. And we've been pleased to bring you a number of streams this season, a number in the Premier League Cup and the FA Youth Cup here in the Hampshire Senior Cup, and the women's, we were saying earlier, on Sunday against Maidenhead United. It's been good to bring them this season, Neil.
It's been fantastic. They're great fun to do, and hopefully they're great fun to listen to and watch. And like you said about the women there, hopefully, barring a miraculous comeback here, we're going to be seeing the men's team join the women's team in the Hampshire Senior Cup final. And the women will be playing Southampton RTC, which is the, you know more about that, that's the Southampton Academy team, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but also what Bill Foley was saying about the Cherries women's team, we'll go back to that in a second. Here's Bhutan. Bhutan has got a Duaget in the penalty area. Might go for the shot. Oh, it just sails wide of the post, but not far off at all. In the end, that time from Baden Johnson, who's looking to do what he did a minute ago, but a little bit nearer than, I'll say, about 20 minutes ago or so when he found the top corner. But encouraging words from Bill Foley when he came into the club to say about the investment and the time he's going to put into the women's side. In the 4th tier at the moment, but lots of ambitions to go a lot higher than that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've had 2 really, really good seasons in the National League. They're on target for a top 4 finish this season in the Hampshire Senior Cup final. Like I said, they brought a lot of very young players through this season, and if they keep the nucleus of that squad together, then they're only going to improve.
Positive signs for the Cherries, and on for Eastleigh has come Isaac Evans, another substitution for the Spitfires here at the Silverlake Stadium. To the centre it goes. Easy go left towards Shaka. That looks like a foul. It is a foul. No complaints about that either. Da Costa Gonzalez this time gives away a free kick. So just the 13 minutes of normal time remains here. We had 1 goal in the first half, 5 in the second, 6 so far, all for the Cherries, and it's going to be Owen Palmer to take the free kick. Making a run is Bailey Honeysett on the left-hand side. Chipped it in instead. There's Chilwell. One back from one of the goal scorers tonight, Tideman. 6 different goal scorers up towards Bhutan. Tideman wants it played to him. Here is Bhutan. And a free kick given against him as a free kick to Eastleigh instead.
Well, Lou, I've got to say, I wouldn't want to be one of the judges in the AFC Bournemouth Goal of the Month competition for April so far, because I've seen so many contenders, and we've still got a few games to go.
Unfortunately, no, I won't be in that good contenders. But no, Bailyn Johnson's strike tonight surely should be in there. What a beautiful finish by Bailyn Johnson.
That's got to be right at the top, hasn't it? That one, surely, with a strike like that.
Yeah, it was a superb finish. I remember we played a friendly a couple of months ago against West Ham, and he scored a volley, but it was in the other top corner. But we know Bailyn Johnson can do that, and he did tonight.
He did it in style, and he's got on the score sheet. So too is Tideman, so too is Da Costa Gonzalez, Duaget, Kinsey Wellings, all on the score sheet tonight.
I think we might see Dango Atara from Tottenham on the shortlist as well, perhaps.
Yeah, that was a superb finish as well. That might win it, though, because that got them big 3 points in the Premier League.
Wow.
Yeah, as far as the significance, definitely. But Eastleigh now play it back. Warren Cummings certainly enjoyed that one in the commentary box at the weekend.
Well, I've been racking my brains. People have been asking me, and you know, it's certainly top 2, top 3 games I've ever seen Bournemouth playing for various reasons. You know, I go back a long way. Brentford '95, which was a big win when we pulled off the Great Escape, and there was the Bristol City game where the club thought it was going to be their last game because they were going out of business due to financial problems, and then, you know, a game like that, never won against Tottenham in North London. You know, and I think it's fair to say when it went to 2-2, you really did think that Tottenham were going to be the ones to get the next goal, and it was just remarkable.
In the meantime, here is Tideman for the Cherries, back towards Toure Williams. Tries the chip and into the chest of Lewis Mees. And Neil, that's a roller coaster of football. It's a complete contrast to earlier in the season, that defeat against Arsenal, which was such heartbreak for the Cherries. And then in North London, a month later, totally different emotions, but that is football for you.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you've only got to look at what Arsenal have been doing to, you know, so many teams, particularly at home. So to even go there and take a 2-0 lead was, you know, was an achievement in itself. And okay, the players would have been crestfallen to lose 3-2, but they would still have taken so many positives from that game. And who knows, maybe some of those positives, they use those on Saturday to win at Spurs.
Yeah, they've gone from strength to strength since the Cherries, 14th in the Premier League table. Eastleigh, in the meantime, the senior side looking to reach the National League playoffs, which would be a terrific achievement, but they've moved out the playoffs now, having had a 9-point gap between themselves and Bromley just outside. But it could well be going to the final day for them. But square ball there from Kinsey Wellings.
That's been some interesting league to follow this year, hasn't it, with Wrexham and Notts County so dominant there, Ian?
Both sides more than 100 points and more than 100 goals. You could have second place finishing with 110 points. It's been remarkable, isn't it?
And they might not even get promoted, Ian.
No, unbelievable. Imagine getting knocked out in the playoffs after that. But the Cherries in possession now. Again, it's been the quietest period of the game now. Kinsey Wellings, Bournemouth just content to keep possession now, really. Another goal for Basingstoke, 3-0, so that looks pretty conclusive that it will be Bournemouth against Basingstoke in the Hampshire Senior Cup final next month. 3-0 lead against Aldershot. Here it's 6-0 to the Cherries.
I might be wrong here, Lou. Is Finn Tonks a Basingstoke lad, or have I got the wrong part of the...
No, he's from Andover.
Not far off, though.
Nearly.
There's Kinsey Wellings for the Cherries. So 8 to play. Kinsey Wellings, that was another goal. Looking back at that one, the second Cherries goal of the night. Lovely trickery to give himself a tap-in. They've all been excellent goals for Bournemouth. A good goal from David Brooks as well, getting Cherry's 4th goal tonight. Duaget on the chase. He might get there here. Well, he does, but the goalkeeper just about gets on it there, Lewis Mees, to stop him from tapping it home.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of goalkeepers watching what's done in the Premier League now and start playing out from the back, and when you get caught, it doesn't look great, does it?
That was a risky one there. He could have ended up in real trouble. As it is, Eastleigh go long and they're going to win the throw. Eastleigh's right. And they're about to make another substitution here, the Spitfires. Brad Smith is coming on for Eastleigh. It's AFC Bournemouth stream tonight. With Eset. Ocko tried to play it forward. There's Pomeroy for Eastleigh. Sorry, Neil.
I was just going to ask Lou about the potential next season Oh, hang on.
It's a chance here, though, for Eastleigh. It's a save this time. Good save. Edge of the penalty area. They try and get the shot away the second time from Dotze. And Terrell came out, saw what was going to happen, and made the save as they came forward.
I tell you what, you've got to take your hands off to Billy Terrell because he hasn't had a great deal to do for the last 35, 40 minutes. So that was a great save.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, Lewis, when you've not had much to do, just to keep that focus, really.
Yeah, it is. But Billy is an exceptional goalkeeper, and we know what he can produce, and he's just done that then to keep us a clean sheet for him.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go. And there's no real need for the fourth official to add on probably more than a minute of stoppage time the way this game's gone. Cherries edging closer to a clean sheet. Boy, slip though, and that puts Costa Gonzalez away. And he's got a Duaget who heads it over. Big opportunity, that one. Pinpoint cost him to Costa Gonzalez, just couldn't quite make it 7.
Well, let's see that one again because it looked like he was sort of stretching a bit. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, not an easy one.
No,
Luke's not having it, I'm afraid.
He's got a score now. He backed himself in training to score them, so he should have.
You'll be giving him some stick after this, won't you, for that one?
Nah, he scored tonight, so I let him off.
That's true. You'd be saying to him he could have got 2. De Costa Gonzalez could have got 3. But as I say, they've both got on the score sheet, so you've got to let them off, haven't you, really?
I was just going to ask you, Lou, about the games programme potentially next season. Hopefully the club can get Category 2, which will mean regular football for the development squad in a league. I know you've been fortunate to have that with the under-18s anyway, but how important is that going to be for players' development to be playing regular competitive league football every week?
Yeah, it's an exciting time for the academy, to be fair, Neil. They're trying to go Cat 2, and hopefully we can get that. And obviously, next season, the 21s can play in a competitive league and get more fixtures, and hopefully Premier League Cup we can compete higher in the levels.
Here's Isaac Evans, goes in field. That's Dotsu with a pass. And then Tonks for the Cherries with 4 minutes of normal time remaining here.
On the same subject, Lou, I'll ask you about playing at the training ground. You're one of the few people that has been fortunate to play and see the new training ground. Just tell us what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, the work's coming along very quick, to be fair. Obviously, the new AstroTurf's done. They're building the new dome so Bournemouth can go Cat 2 next season. And like I said, it's an exciting time for the academy. Obviously, I've been at Bournemouth since the age of 7, and we've been Cat 3 the whole way through. So for me, it's a new challenge, and obviously for the coaching staff, obviously for the club as well, it's a new challenge.
Corner for the Cherries, taking quickly back out again towards Tideman. Kinsey Wellings there, looking for his brace, a centre back. So the 3 substitutions Bournemouth have made then, they've all come on and done well. Tonks, Occo and Tideman, with Tideman getting on the score sheet. So he play it back that time from Brad Smith. Butanta Williams. Tideman. Turns well. Johnson's intercepted, and that's going to go out for a corner for the Cherries for the final couple of minutes of this game. So obviously there'll be no rush to take at the moment. Tideman. Free kick right on the edge of the box. Taken quickly. Here's Kinsey Wellings. Good play. Vital header. And Tonks has been pretty, at that kind of an unassuming performance. He's been doing all the basics right tonight since he's come on, really, Finn Tonks, Lewis.
He's performed really well. Like I said, he had a knee injury. I think he suffered it against Tadley, And this is obviously his first game back, and I think he's performed very well when he's come on.
Yeah, he's taken it to like a duck to water, really. Da Costa Gonzalez feeds it through. Here's Oko.
You spoke earlier, Lou, about the combinations as well. Those two, Finn had been playing with Michael all season as well. That's so important.
Yeah, it is. I've seen so many goals come down from this right-hand side, especially at under 18s level. This is where our main goals come from at under 18s, and their combinations helped us win the league.
There's been some good combinations tonight, good partnerships with the Cherries. 45 seconds plus stoppage time. We're getting a 6-0 win here tonight. It's been a learning curve, certainly for the Eastleigh youngsters tonight. Extremely young team that's been put out, which they've been forced to do. And earlier in the season, they were in ties where there were 4 or 5 senior players playing. And that makes a big difference, Neil, doesn't it, really, when you've got players, even if it's just 3 or 4, being able to guide them. But it's out of Eastleigh's hands, really, tonight.
Of course it makes a big difference, Ian, but as we all know, at every football club, the first team is the priority, and Eastleigh have got much bigger fish to fry this season, and that is getting into the National League playoffs, and that's their number one priority, and that's why we've seen such a young team here tonight.
Yeah, there we go. Full time. It is 6 for Bournemouth. David Brooks was in amongst them, but the goal of the game, amongst a number of really good goals tonight, has to come to Balin Johnson with an absolute peach. Bournemouth go into the final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. Eastleigh bow out, having got to the final last season, but a really professional performance from the Cherries in the second half. 1 goal in the first, 5 in the second. It's finished Eastleigh 0, Bournemouth 6. And Lewis, can't get much better than that, can you, really, as a performance, particularly in the second half?
No, I can't. I thought it was a superb performance from the boys tonight. And obviously, hopefully Alan will be pleased with the performance. But luckily, we got the clean sheet as well. Billy made a fabulous save. We've got to remember that. And we did give away a couple of set pieces in the first half that they looked good from, but Al will be pleased that we didn't give many away in the second half.
Yeah, we'll hear from Alan Connell after the game. Do you think there'll be anything in that performance that he'll find in the dressing room afterwards to tell his players, you can do this better or you can do that better?
Probably the set pieces, to be honest with you, Ian. And just staying concentrated in the back. Obviously, Billy had to make a superb save because of a back pass, but hopefully Alan can praise the boys because it was a good performance from them.
And Neil, it's 0-0 for a while during this game. It took Bournemouth a while to break the deadlock. I suppose it reminds me a little bit of the Leeds game last night in the Premier League, once Liverpool scored that first goal. But credit to Eastleigh because they're such a young side and they will learn an awful lot from this game tonight themselves.
Yeah, of course they will. And let's not forget, it was only 1-0 at half-time. I'm not saying there wasn't a lot in it in the first half, but Eastleigh certainly had a couple of chances, as Lou said, for some set pieces. But whatever Alan said to them at half-time certainly did the trick because apart from one really good save Billy made and the mistake he made at the start, it was total domination for those 45 minutes in the second half.
Well, let's have a look back at the goals now then from tonight. And it all started off with a goal in the first half, and it was that man Da Costa Gonzalez who had a couple of opportunities earlier on. That put Bournemouth away, and that was quite a goal from him.
Yeah, well, we've spoken a lot in commentary about how we not almost expect to see him score goals like that. Lou said he hasn't seen him score a tap-in for ages, and the fantastic finish.
Yeah, lovely play. And to be fair to the goalkeeper, Lewis Meese, in goal for Eastleigh, I don't think he could have done anything about any of the goals that went in tonight. So that was the first goal. The Cherries went 1-0 up at half-time. They nearly scored just before half-time. But here was the goal to make it 2. It was Kinsley Wellings. It would have been easier to just hit it straight away or maybe go for the diving header, but managed to get it round the goalkeeper and tapped it home. And from a centre-back, that's pretty spectacular from him.
Yeah, it is, to be fair.
In the meantime, that was a strike. What about that? That looks better the more you watch it, doesn't it, Lewis, from Balin Johnson?
That's an exceptional finish from Balin Johnson. The way he comes and glides inside, like I've seen all season, and then to have the end product like that, it's exceptional.
In the meantime, David Brooks then, who scored a hat-trick in the previous round, has played so well tonight before being taken off. It felt like he needed a goal to reward his excellent performance, and that's exactly what he got. He turned Bailey Honeysett and put it underneath Lewis Meese for a decent finish, Neil.
I think from a club point of view, Ian, what we really wanted was 67 minutes from David Brooks, which is exactly what we got. We got an assist, we got a goal, we got a hat-trick in the last round, we got an assist in the last round, but he's ticked all the boxes from what everybody would have wanted from him from tonight's game again.
In the meantime, that man who's been involved in the senior team this season, Aduaje, with the tap-in to make it 5, and then it was just compounded with a 6th, and it was Tideman, who'd only been on the pitch for a couple of minutes. Occo had the shot, who came on with him, and then there was Tideman to finish to make it 6-0 to Bournemouth in what's been an excellent night for the Cherries. And Lewis, Basingstoke in the final, it looks like they're still playing in that one. They were 3-0 up the last we heard in that game against Aldershot, but different kind of test to come there, that's for sure, in the final, and probably an experienced-looking Basingstoke side.
Yeah, it'll be a physical men's team, and hopefully we can put on a show like we did tonight in the final.
Yeah, they're winning 4-0 now, so I think we can almost certainly guarantee. And I think, as you said, I think we're going to find a much stronger Basingstoke town side. When you're in the final, I'm not too sure what's happening in their league, but their league will probably have finished by then as well, playoffs as well. So I think they'll have it all to play for.
Well, thank you very much for watching the stream tonight here with ESET. It's been great to bring you this stream this evening in the Hampshire Senior Cup. Again, a very young Eastleigh side crash out in the end, but it's the Cherries who go through, and they will, pretty sure, be playing Basingstoke in the final in May, probably at Fratton Park next month. Thanks very much for watching. 6 different goal scorers for the Cherries, who are through to the Hampshire Senior Cup final here at the Silverlake Stadium. Full time here, Eastleigh 0, Bournemouth 6.